Hey, y'all, smooth and delicious, yo. These dudes are like,
Way so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yes. Yes, y'all. And you didn't stop. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy. With whom? Avec moi, your host, Jan. How's it going? Good, I hope. If not, I'm sorry to hear that. I do want to take a pause from the incessant Chelsea news and react to Twomey of the Liam Variety from The Athletic. His article on Chelsea's 43 first team players, brackets, and quite a few more. And who's going to get on the pitch and what's going on. So Twomey of The Athletics published an article, should I say The Athletics published an article on this. We're going to go through it player by player. But everyone's got their favourites. Everyone's got their hopes, dreams and desires for individual players that put on the Chelsea shirt. And then obviously people have got their agendas as well. Chelsea got loads of players up for sale. You know, what's going on with Kepa, Romelu, of course we're speaking about him a lot. Trevo training away, Breuer, Gallagher, you know, lots of stuff. Limited loan spots, limited international loan spots. You know, we've sent Santos back to Strasbourg notably. We've got superstars arriving in the summer. Next summer, Esteval Willian, Kendry Paez, and maybe Mike Penders, goalkeeper. So yeah, bro. It's popping off. We're going to go through all the players and cite essentially what Twomey's saying in this article. And as always, as we go, I would invite you to leave your thoughts, your personal opinions and insights on each player. Leave them down in the comment section as we go. Thank you for liking and subscribing to this channel. Of course, road to 200,000 subscribers, which is an army. And I will eventually lead you all into some form of uprising once I've decided what my cause is. Let's get into it. Transition, please. Thank you. So we're gonna rattle on through. We're gonna start with goalkeepers, and yeah, there's a lot of goalkeepers. Rob Sanchez heads into the season as Chelsea's first choice #1 goalkeeper, though his position could come under threat quickly, of course, if he makes costly errors. Guys, we've watched Rob Sanchez. You know probably my opinion on him. I'm open to him becoming a better footballer, but I do have worries, and I don't feel necessarily safe, but I'm open to him doing well, but we'll see what happens there. Of course, we've recently signed Philip Jorgensen for £20.7 million from Villarreal. He's seen as a better fit for Maresca's system, and he's obviously the biggest threat as it stands to Rob Sanchez's #1 position. Of course, Georgi Petrovic was the first choice from the middle of last season. Apparently, he's going to be pushing for the first spot as well. But from what we've been reading, Georgi Petrovic could be up for sale if we could get him out of the club. Chelsea could make a profit on him as well. We've got to rattle through quickly, of course. Marcus Bettinelli is very much the third choice goalkeeper. He is vibes man. He likes drinking coffee with the boys. He's totally cool with being a third choice keeper. He's a good guy. He's a good trainer. He's like the quintessential perfect guy to be third choice, so he will remain that. Liam Twomey goes on to reiterate that Petrovic is surplus to requirements, probably now under the new system under Enzo Maresca. If Chelsea can get more than £13.6 million that they paid for him, they will sell him. Lucas Bergstrom, he featured, of course, in the US, and he's not on the first team picture. Gaga Slanina has gone to League One side Barnsley on loan. High hopes for Slanina, as Panic at the Disco once sung. You've always had high hopes for Slanina, but bros at Barnsley now. Kepa, of course, he wants to return to Real Madrid, where he spent last season on loan. Chelsea are adamant they'd rather sell than loan him out for his final 12 months. Saudi Arabia have also been interested. Goalkeepers. Let's fly through the defenders then, starting with Axel Disasi. He missed all of preseason. Of course, he's recovered from a hernia operation. He will be one of Maresca's 3 right-sided centre-backs when he returns, so apparently not for sale, despite Liga and even Italian teams looking at him. Trevo is not one of those 3. Those 3 being referenced here in this article is Tosin, Adebayo, Wesley Fofana, Axel Disasi. I've referenced here recently on the channel. I think Axel Disasi could actually play it well because he's played both right back and right centre back for us. If the left back is inverting, he can do that right back role well that you tuck in. Just what I think. Mark Cucurella, this £56 million signing from the summer of 2022, looks to be the first choice left back, as in either an inverting midfielder, left back, or tucking in. Cucurella is perfect for that, I would say. Tosin, of course, the former Fulham man, is viewed as a better fit for Maresca's system than Chalobah. Having worked with the Italian at Man City, he will compete with the aforementioned Disasi and Fofana for that right side. Benoit Badiashile is one of Chelsea's better passers out of defence. This is what the Athletic's saying, not me. I'm sure it's true, but I don't necessarily think of Badiashile as some sort of quarterback playmaker, but fair enough. He will also play instead of Colwill at the left centre-back role. And as things stand, Levi Colwill is considered untouchable by the Chelsea ownership. He looks primed to be the starting centre-back in the left centre-back role. Of course, Trevoh Chalobah has been excluded from first team consideration and is weighing up his options. Villa, Palace are interested in him. He's training away from the first team. Ben Chilwell, very sad situation. He looks referenced here as tactically obsolete in this new Enzo Maresca system. Still in the first team squad, but with no pathway to regular minutes. He's a prime candidate to be sold. What's the market for Ben Chilwell? You know, I'd be very sad to see him go, but at the same time, if we are going to commit to this new tactics, this new philosophy, this new style, I completely accept as a Ben Chilwell believer and apologist to a degree. Just doesn't suit him at all, and I don't want to see him be a left winger, so yeah, concerns, we could see him go. Reece James, club captain, is one of the best footballers in the squad, but he will find himself watching Gusto play his spots from the sidelines. Of course, he's got 3 games to banned early doors. Gusto was, of course, one of Chelsea's few developmental successes last season. He's an excellent alternative to James at right back. He also gets deployed at left back by Maresca. Fofana, finally fit after missing the entire of last season for injury. The 70 million, 69 million, the optics are better, from 2022 goes into the season. It says it's a first choice partner to Colwill. Now, many people will have issue with this, will take issue. That, if you watch this channel, Football Therapy, if you know my opinions on the Chelsea players, you will know that my long-term vision has long been Levi and Wesley. 2 young defenders, left footer, right footer, both Chelsea fans. One's academy, one's obviously from Leicester City. I think they're both got incredibly high ceilings, but you know, granted, no defenders in form, and Wesley hasn't had the greatest of pre-seasons. Doesn't matter, I'm a huge believer. Josh Chimpong, or Chimpong, just depending on pronunciation there. He was taken on the US tour. He's regarded as an elite prospect by Chelsea at right back or right centre back. Though, of course, competition will be fierce. It'll be very interesting to see what happens to Chimpong if he goes on loan. Of course, he was being linked for sale with PSG and Real Madrid. I don't know how true that is. Bashir Humphries, man, is set for a loan or a permanent move after not being picked to go on the pre-season tour. Still only 21. His destination is yet to be decided. Great player, Bashir Humphries. Yeah, kind of sad in many ways, but fair enough. Of course, Alfie Gilchrist, 20-year-old, has gone to Sheffield United. Personally, I wonder if Alfie is going to make it at Chelsea. I mean, he loved his time in the first team last season under Poch, and if Chelsea fans loved it, because you could tell he loved it, and that sort of bled into the fans, right? I'd love him to make it, but I just wonder if he can. Obviously, Sheffield United's a great loan for him. They'll be trying to push for promotion in the Championship, and it'll be his first full season, hopefully his first choice as a senior centre-half. Jesus, we've got a long way to go. Of course, Aaron Altamino is a defender, loaned straight back to Boca that we've just signed. Caleb Wiley is a full-back that we signed from MLS, and we've loaned him to Strasbourg for developmental reasons. Right! Midfielders, baby! Enzo Fernandez could well be Chelsea's captain on the pitch regularly this season, and depending on James's availability, of course, in the absence of Chilwell, won't be playing. Gallagher, probably be sold. Reece James, either injured or banned. Could be Enzo Fernandez as captain. Les Luga-Chukwu, this is a hugely interesting one. Remains at Cobham after joining Chelsea's pre-season tour in the US. But it still says here, Twomey writes, he's still expected to be loaned out. The club are high on their £23 million signings potential, and he will not be sold. Good, bro. He's, scored twice as many goals as, impressive striker Mark Yu in pre-season. And Leslie, who I thought was just a CDM, is apparently an all-round midfielder that can do it all. Very intelligent signing. Lots of people will be wondering about Carney Chukwuemeka, who produced flashes of elite talent in an injury-plagued campaign last season, of course. Selling the 20-year-old now is unlikely to yield a profit on the £20 million investment, and of course it'd be a decision that would age poorly, giving his youth and potential. Yeah, a lot of people are massively high on Carnes Chukwuemeka, that he could be. I've spoken about his profile. If he does, we could look at a different video, his X value stats, but he's a very interesting profile. A proper number 10, if you ask me. Not a playmaking one necessarily, but one that combines in tight spaces, that's strong, good with the ball at his feet, 1-2s, goal scoring. But yeah, just a really great player. So Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, of course, 30 million from Leicester. Will start as a starter. I don't know if he's got the quality to keep it at the top end of the Premier League in Chelsea, but he's certainly been used to inject the Maresca philosophy early doors. Gallagher, we know the situation. He's going to be sold almost certainly to Atletico Madrid or go as a free agent 12 months' time. Cesare Casadei is also up for sale. Apparently, it's being... Yeah, so I've heard him say this on the Athletic podcast, Liam Twomey, and he writes it here. He calls his loan stint with Maresca at Leicester underwhelming. I thought he did quite well because he featured a lot off the bench, but apparently... Yeah, Enzo Maresca didn't really fancy him. So, of course, Chelsea spent 13 million, 1-3, from Inter Milan's academy. Says he's been slow to develop, but he's still got a lot of believers, Casadei, and he's, could be utilised to go to Napoli for this Osimhen deal. I feel he's got a lot of believers in Italy still. Of course, he captained the youth side of the international team and, won a tournament, so... Casadei is well known out in Serie A. Moises Caicedo, he's going to be so important and hopefully impressive for Enzo Maresca, playing in midfield and having to be able to pass as well as sort of be a destroyer and a bit of a firefighter, but also a creator. He's got to do a lot, Caicedo, and he'll be able to do that. Another interesting one is Amari Kellyman, the 18-year-old who missed pre-season tour with an injury. He's 19 million quid, remember, but a lot of people are thinking that's an inflated price, part of the Ian Mutson swap sale thing, maybe. People are expecting him to begin the season in the Chelsea development squad. That makes sense. Now, Renato Vega, of course, interestingly here, being listed as a midfielder. He was signed for £11.8 million, very cheap, from Switzerland's Basel last month to provide Maresca with another option to invert into midfield from left back. And this is a huge... Look, the 21-year-old is currently favoured over Chilwell. Wow. Chilwell is just not... It's £11 million 20-year-old, 21-year-old signing from the Swiss League. Favoured over Chilwell, and he is not a left back, and Chilwell is a left back. Obviously it makes sense if you think about it tactically, but Chilwell stocks are down, ladies and gentlemen. Romeo Lavia is slated a word or stated? Anyway, he's going to play a major role in Maresca's team after injuries derailed his last campaign. £58 million, lest we forget. I believe it is a fee, the transfer for Romeo Lavia. It goes up to 58 million. I wonder if I think it's like a 45 million we've paid so far from Southampton. He could be Caicedo's understudy as the deepest midfielder for Maresca, or even play alongside Moises at certain times. Very interesting. Yeah, man. So Tino Andrin, he could leave permanently. He had high hopes as well, bro. He was like the one, Tino Andrin. People might not know, but he was so heavily rated. Got a lot of bad injuries, and I think his time is done at Chelsea, personally. I think he'll be sold. Andre Santos back at Strasbourg. He has had good 6 months there. I think a whole year there will be good for him. They love him there. He's transformative. I think he's learning a bit of a French. Chelsea still rate him massively, and they believe he will be a first-team contributor at Stamford Bridge, and this is because he's only just turned 20. This is just more of a really good developmental process. And, by the time, he's Cole Palmer's age when we signed him. Santos could just be ready to go and could be a superstar, man. Remember, like, Arsenal with William Saliba, like, he was really young, but there was criticism of Arsenal fans, like, bring him in, why is Arteta not bringing him in sooner? And then it looked like a masterstroke because he's been flawless since he's come into the Arsenal team. I know he's a defender and Santos is a midfielder, but I wonder if there's parallels there, you know? So, yeah, very, very interesting indeed. Leo Castledine, of course, great player, earmarked for a championship loan following an excellent season last season with the development squad, though leading Scottish side Rangers have also looked at him. Chelsea do not want to include an option to buy. They rate Leo very highly. Alex Matos is available to go out on loan after spending the second half as a regular starter of last season for Huddersfield Town, of course, in the championship. The 19-year-old was not originally for sale this summer, but clubs have shown interest, which could change Chelsea's mind. He is a pure profit asset. We'll wave some money under these people, under these Chelsea, owners, and who knows what can happen. Jimmy Torreanian. So many vowels in here. Jimmy Torreanian. You know that guy, Jimmy T. He's primed for a first developmental loan at age 20 after making 2 senior appearances in Chelsea's first team last summer. Right, here's the juicy bit. Forwards. Of course, we've just signed the likes of Pedro Neto's not listed here, but Raheem Sterling is fully focused. So you could even call him Raheem focused. He's focused on the new season under Maresca, despite Chelsea being very open to a sale that would offload this summer 2022 signing. 47.5 million we paid for him. Of course, he's got a huge salary, by far the highest salary in the Chelsea roster. He's not going to want to leave, is he? He's a London boy. He's finally back in London after being in Liverpool, Manchester for a decade. He's back with his family. He's on 325k a week. He's trying hard. He's not just picking up his salary. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to make this work. So fair play to him. If we could sell him, I'd sell him. But I haven't got a problem with Raheem. Do you know what I mean? We spoke about Mudryk in this morning's video. Mudryk continues to look lost in the Chelsea team, writes Liam Twomey, 18 months after his £62 million signing from Shakhtar Donetsk. Of course, that raises to 88 million, but I don't think he's anywhere near those bonus add-ons at the moment. He cannot viably be sold, of course, and may find regular minutes on the left flank harder to come by following the arrival of Pedro Neto, who's a proven Premier League performer. Yeah, we're just going to have to, hang around with Mudryk and believe he can come good. Big talking point, of course, is Noni Madueke, the Chelsea's most productive winger. Has not been named. That has not been named Cole Palmer, but the club would still consider offers in excess of £28.5 million paid to PSV Eindhoven. So we paid 28 million quid for him. If we got offered more money, Chelsea would consider that. I don't know. I think we'd need maybe 35 million or something. Noni's got a high ceiling. He's nowhere near Cole Palmer, who says play on the right. I think Pedro Neto is better than Noni Madueke, and if maybe Pedro Neto was asked what side do you want to play on, he'd probably choose the right. So there's there's a world in selling Madueke and getting money for him and having Cole Palmer and Neto on the right, and then, having a Joao Felix and a Mudryk who's finally found form on the left, and they're all young and they can play forever, or a long time. But, these are a lot if, buffs, and maybes. And speaking about a player that can also play on the left is Nico Jackson. He's grown his value significantly since joining for £32 million last summer. He's Chelsea's first choice number 9 this season, unless Victor Osimhen arrives from Napoli, which of course is a developing story. I will keep you guys updated. Make sure you're subscribed and you have the bell turned on. Nico Jackson, Christopher Nkunku, he seems primed for a breakout Premier League season under Maresca. He's amazing. I love him. I'm a massive fan of him as well. Broya is trending away from the first team, expected to be sold. Cole Palmer is the new king of Stamford Bridge. He's just been given a new contract till 2033. Tyreek George, a lot of people have been asking about him. He signed a new 3-year deal in June with the club, an option to extend for us until 2028. The other outstanding 18-year-old with a Chimpong, the Cobham included in Maresca's tour squad. His pathway to competitive team minutes is now clogged with Neto's arrival. Tyreek George, though, heavily rated by Chelsea. I doubt he will be sold. David Washington is a candidate for one of the loan spots. £13.7 million from Brazil Santos. But he could be sold for an acceptable offer. We did see Washington in the first team. He looked totally spooked in that brief period when, was it Poch throwing him on? Mark Gue, so this is really, really interesting. He's already a hipster's choice. You know, he's got the streets, Mark Gue, the £5 million signing from Barcelona, the 18-year-old who looks strong, fast, and combative. He was going to go on loan before the Amorodian move from Atletico Madrid collapsed, so the 18-year-old could begin as Jackson's understudy after a positive individual preseason. I'd be very happy with that. I'm sure many of you guys would be happy with that as well. Again, another interesting one, Angelo Gabriel. He was part of the tour squad but had no realistic pathway into the first team for minutes. He's only 19 still, another developmental project who needs a loan after spending last loan at Strasbourg. Yeah, a left-footed right winger. We've got so many of those, man. So Angelo, you know... Andre Santos, I think is going to make it at Chelsea. Angelo, I don't think so, but we'll see what happens with him. David Datro Fofana, Chelsea hope to sell him for more than the £10 million we paid for. I think so. He looked pretty good at Burnley. He's 21 years old. I think we could definitely get our money back / make a profit on that. Lukaku, and we know the story of Lukaku. We're waiting to get him to Napoli, if not Saudi or something. Pedro Neto, of course, he's just come in. He will start. Mason Burstow is available to buy, and he had an underwhelming loan at Sunderland in the Championship. He could also leave on loan, but Chelsea would be happy to sell Burstow. Diego Moreira, having been loaned to Lyon last season, is likely to go back to France, joining Strasbourg on loan as a permanent signing. We've spoken about this. I think he's going to go on a permanent. To speculating here, going on a permanent, not to utilise another international loan spot. And you know, when you sell one of your own players to your sister club for $2 million, is he really sold? Wicked. Well, that's the squad, man, and obviously they're going to drop off like flies, you'd imagine, either loans or sales, and we are going to follow the big blockbuster stories here on the channel continually, whether it's the, Lukaku, Gallagher, Osimhen, Joao Felix. So do keep it locked, guys. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Hit the bell if you have subscribed so you don't miss a beat. Love you all very much, and I hope to see you back here soon. Peace.